The crossing of the Delaware. This took place on Christmas? Okay, I'm throwing out all my notes and we're going to do this a little bit differently. Even though this is officially a Christmas video now, I want you to take a look at this painting and see if you notice anything. Today our focus question is going to be, what is the crossing of the Delaware and why is it so important? Before we get to that, let's back it up a little bit. During the American Revolution, George Washington had retreated from New York all the way to New Jersey. He'd been chased by the British the whole way, and now it was approaching winter. Washington retreated all the way through to Pennsylvania, across the Delaware River from New Jersey. Just in time for Christmas! Washington set up his new base in Newtown in Pennsylvania. Just across the river was Trenton, in New Jersey, where Hessian mercenaries were encamped. They had been hired by the British from a place in Germany called Hesse. At least that's how I think you pronounce it. It was Christmas night 1776, and George Washington decided to do something daring. Because no one would expect an attack in the middle of the night on Christmas, Washington crossed the Delaware River and prepared to surprise the Hessians. So this is a famous painting called Washington Crossing the Delaware, which was made in 1850, about 70 years after the event took place. Well, hang on a second. I thought Washington was only 44 years old. Why does it look like daytime when this happened at night? Wait, I thought that American flag wasn't created till 1777. When looking at artwork like this, it's important to understand that it's more about symbolism than realism. The truth is, this picture was made to be more stylized than realistic. Christmas Day surprise, Christmas Day surprise, y'all all gonna get captured, Christmas Day surprise, hi-ya! At dawn, the sleepy Hessian soldiers woke to the sound of drums and gunfire. The Americans charged into town, shouting and cheering. The surprised Hessians tried to fight back, but it was too late. Washington's plan had worked. The battle was over in less than an hour. Where are you, Christmas? Why can't I find you? The Americans managed to capture 900 Hessians. About 22 Hessians were killed and 83 were wounded, but the Americans only lost 2 soldiers in the fighting. In addition to this, they also captured cannons, muskets, and supplies they badly needed. Only a few days later, Washington mustered 4,500 soldiers and attacked the town of Princeton, which only had about 1,200 to 1,500 soldiers. Needless to say, for the Hessians and the British, this was the worst Christmas and Happy New Year they had had in a long time. It was an American victory. The Americans captured 200 to 300 British soldiers, and the Americans only lost 25 to 35 men. So, why were these victories important? They lifted the soldiers' spirits and made them realize that the new hope of the American cause was possible. General Washington had defeated General Cornwallis, and it wasn't the last time they'd meet. They would meet again at a famous victory at Yorktown. This is a good time to pause the video and start taking notes. Okay, so this is the crossing of the Delaware rock, paper, scissors game, and I want to show you how to play it. So the first thing you do is you're going to start out with 2 counters each on the starting positions, play as either the British or the Americans. The aim of the game is to place 1 counter on one of the other players' starting positions to win. So let's say player 1 rolls the dice and they roll 1. They can move 1 space. Player 2 rolls a 2 and they get to move 2 spaces. Next, player 1 gets an extra counter on their starting position because they rolled a 3. Okay, now the British player moves one space. And the American player gets to move 2 spaces. The British player gets 1 extra counter on their space. Alright, now let's talk about fighting. Let's say you move on to another player's position. You do rock, paper, scissors to see who keeps their counter. Whoever wins the round gets to keep their counter on the space, and whoever loses has to remove their counter from the space. Just an extra note, you can't jump over other players' counters, you have to fight them. I'm kind of doing these out of order, but number 5 means that you have to remove your own counter back to your starting position. Okay, so the American player rolls a 6, which means they get a choice. They decide to move 2 spaces. What about 4? You probably thought I missed number 4, but I didn't. That just means that you remove an enemy counter from the board. So the red player, it's their turn. They get to take 1 counter off the board of the other player. And that's the game. If you're interested in playing or learning more about it, visit teacherspayteachers.com/store/history-buffer, or you can look at YouTube, History Board Games. Let's give it a check.